This story happened in 1994 and it is totally real. There are details that you will judge and draw conclusions, but everything that I am going to tell happened. I am from a very small city, a town in the north of the country, a few kilometers from the border with states United States of America. Perhaps because it was the Halloween holidays, it was a deeply rooted tradition there. For some children like me, it was the most anticipated party of the year. We would go out dressed as demons from our favorite monsters, and we would ask for sweets throughout the town. We would visit the different houses that they decorated for us from the people who not only gave sweets, but turned their homes into real horror rides. The neighborhood where I lived was in the northwest of the town. On the edge after the last houses there was a hill and then hill, uninhabited for several tens of kilometers until reaching another population. This Halloween that I am talking about was very particular. If someone close to the town comes to hear this story, they will not let me lie. Weeks before, a crime had happened pretty gruesome, and near the site a family living on the outskirts had been brutally murdered. The parents and a 5-year-old girl had been found bludgeoned to death with a baseball bat. Police said the 10-year-old son was missing. They found him a day later on a hill several kilometers away. He had a hole in his chest. Several organs had been removed and his eyes gouged out. The town was shocked. Around the body there were some signs of what could have been a satanic ritual, pure evil. He said to himself in a low voice, as if he didn't want to be heard, as if whispering made it less real, "Now I understand the seriousness of the case, how dangerous it was to go out thinking that the murderers were out there." But at that moment, as children, we did not understand why they had forbidden us to go out to ask for sweets and celebrate Halloween, taking advantage of the fact that some of our parents worked and others were not in town, or simply did not notice. Several of my friends managed to get together, and when we went out, we were the only children walking in the town, and we thought that all the sweets were going to be for us. But there was something different. Most of the houses kept their decoration, but in a few there was movement. Not even lights on. Were not even 7 o'clock in the evening and the place already looked deserted. And not only for children, it seemed that everyone had decided to lock themselves up or take shelter in their homes. We saw lights and movements coming out of a small church at the end of the street. People were coming out of their mass or service. I don't remember their religion, but surely they didn't celebrate Halloween. So we didn't go near it. An extremely skinny lady of about 50 saw us and rushed over to us. "Children shouldn't be on the street," she told us, and I told the lady that we just wanted to celebrate and ask for candy like we did every year. She gave us some flowers, a bouquet of tiny purple flowers on long stems. "Take this. If I see you again, I promise I'll give you candy, but go to your houses." They chose a bad day to ask for sweets in the town. Children today must go home. We realized that everyone who came out of the church carried similar bouquets. We ignored it because the truth seemed not to be very sane, and we continued walking excited. At that moment, a wind that had become violent made us think that we were living our horror movie on Halloween. The atmosphere was perfect. A sound caught our attention behind us. We turned around. It seemed that it had come out of one of those houses. With a recording of the sounds of a house of terror, it was heard again with nervous laughter. We kept getting closer. When we got to the house from where there was nothing on, and sound was heard again behind us as if it were coming out of the house right in front of us. We turned around and tried to see in the darkness of the patio, but nothing could be distinguished. We were looking in the wrong place. We heard the sound once more. We saw that the sound was coming from the roof of the 2-story house. A huge silhouette standing upright for at least 2 meters. They were watching us. We started running without knowing if it was part of a decoration or not. We didn't care. Some of us accidentally ran to one side of the street and the others went the other way. We met up a few blocks down on the main street. The guys who went the other way said they heard that thing. They heard that thing jumped from the roof onto the street, and then that thing was chasing them. It sounded like it was a bull ran after them. We walked a bit until we found the brother of one of the boys who worked driving a taxi. We asked him to please take us to our houses, and after scolding his brother for being outside, he accepted. I don't know what had happened, but today there is no one on the street. There is something very strange in the air. They don't feel it, he told us, shortly before I got out of the taxi that night. All of us who came out heard noises from our roofs. Moans, constant noises. A breath like that of a bull or a huge animal that did not let us sleep. At school the next day we learned that we were not the only group that left. 6 boys from a 6th grade class left and had not returned home. Nobody at school. He talked about something else. We couldn't even tell our story. We thought they would surely think we wanted to take advantage and attract attention, so we never did, and the children were never found. In the investigations, a group of farmers nearby from a ranch, they claimed to have seen a shadow walking, a 3-meter tall shadow that was followed by several children. The authorities of these farmers ignored the testimony, so no one paid attention to their statements. Many years passed before the celebration was held again Halloween night.